official.
All right. Well, good morning, everyone. We are at the February general meeting of the Sandpoint Tree Committee. We're meeting here at City Hall. Time is 8:38. We have, my name is Bob Wilson. I'm the chair of the Tree Committee. We have Tree Committee members here, Bill Love, Sharon Lewis, Gail Lister, and Eileen Atkinson. Not present, Rich Del Carlo and Molly McCann. Also joining us is Maeve Nevins Louder. I hope I got that right.
You got that right. Nice.
As our new city forester.
Oh, you're a city forester.
It's the title of the hour.
Okay.
That's not a forester.
My husband wants. Well, I'm glad we have a city forester.
Yeah.
Yes.
We have it.
Yes, it is.
You have to do everything that Kim had to do when she had there.
I will be taking over all of the tree committee stuff, but not no
Parks and all.
No, we're splitting it. So Jason Wiley, who's the recreation supervisor, is essentially taking on more responsibility, and then I'm assuming, we don't exactly know how they're gonna backfill some of that responsibility, but yeah, they're gonna fill it back up. So, but I'm heavy on, my background's in landscape architecture. I think you've probably heard about my background before. I'm heavy on design, construction, and certainly facilitating meetings and whatnot. So, and we have a plan that we'll talk about later, but
yeah, we'll touch on that.
yeah, so
Touch on
we're
that
moving.
later.
I did it a lot the last couple weeks. That has to do
So
with it.
is there a new,
Cammie and I are busy.
is there a search for the Parks and Rec director? Or
No, we're not. That's what I was just saying. We're not gonna, they're not gonna replace the director
as
position.
such? Okay.
Yeah, they're kind of dispersing, and then we're gonna have other positions in the city. So, yeah.
So is the Parks and Rec still going to be a separate department, or is it going to be under?
Yeah.
Okay.
Still separate. Same.
Okay.
The only thing different is that there won't be a new park director.
Okay.
The only difference, just the distribution of the workload, and then sounds like they're going to bring in some other leadership level folks to take some of the workload off of that and maybe move maintenance around a little bit. So,
Okay.
yeah. But actually, Jennifer will be here in about a half an hour. She had a doctor's appointment this morning, so she'll be in after that, and then I was going to ask her because she's really the one that.
Okay.
Staffing.
Okay. Are there any other general announcements here before we get going? I was going to mention.
Sharon,
Should bring. I just wanted to let you guys know that I am starting a new job. I'll still be here in Sandpoint, but I'm working for a company based in Boulder, and my schedule will be such that I'm away for 2 or 3 weeks at a time and then returning to Sandpoint. So there's probably going to be a lot of meetings I just won't be here for. But I'm just letting you know that will be my situation moving forward.
Well, we'll appreciate your presence when you are here.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. I was going to mention also under new business, we have a tree removal request. I talked to Carl Fish. Yeah. I talked to him yesterday. He said he's withdrawing that request.
Yes, I was going to tell you that.
Really?
So, yeah, he actually saw the announcement, the review that Garth Davis did on it, and he was very reassured that tree was not as hazardous as he was afraid it was.
Is it a bullpine?
It's a bit, and it's big. It's 90 feet tall, estimated at 90 feet, and
it's out there where it got blown out. All the
it's on that frowning where we've had a history of blowdown.
I guess 2 houses or 2 neighbors, sorry, right across the street lost their trees. But no, each time a tree falls, it's a different situation. It's a failure of the soil, not a failure of the tree. And so there's just different factors, and you can't say that because your neighbor's tree fell that your tree is going to fall, especially when it's a perfectly healthy tree. So, but what it does bring to light, and Jennifer and I met with Jim Flott, the person who's going to do our planning. It's just that, you know, this lends itself to opportunity for discussion of development and how the developers move forward and what kind of opportunities we have in that regard as far as removing trees, because in this situation they obviously removed all the forest around and left with one tree, and then it's weaker, and so we really need to take a look at that. And so that's something that we've asked him to make recommendations on as well in his planning.
Yeah.
Well, it's great that an assessment was done and then the homeowner, you know, really valued the assessment.
Honestly, this all came up on, well, I took Friday off, sorry, but it came up by Thursday. As of Thursday, he was, you know, we were going to move ahead with this. This was the process, and it was good for me because I went through the process for the first time, and we were figuring it out, because when Kim left, there was a kind of a gap of what was the process and what do we want the process to be. And so all of that was a good exercise, and Jennifer and I just decided, let's go with what we thought the process was before, and based on code, you know, it moved towards going to city council, and we wanted your recommendation, and we didn't know how all this worked. So that's why I think it's good to even keep it on the agenda to talk about and just keep it for today. I was going to try to pull it in advance.
I had some questions about the process too.
Okay.
Well, and excuse me for interrupting, but yeah, and I have a 30-minute presentation that I prepared. And in fact, I went and visited that neighborhood today. And so if we are going to keep it on the agenda for discussion, then I'll save my comments until then.
Let's keep it on, if you don't mind.
Yeah, and it would be good for Jennifer, you know, to be here too, because the process of going to council and that sort of thing. Yeah, if we were just talking about kind of, you know, how did the tree look health-wise and things like that, but because there's the kind of the city process involved too.
I was also interested in understanding how the homeowner or property owner gets involved and informed in this loop too. So I was happy to see that he got this report. But I'm not sure if that's really formalized or what the deal is.
It's not. It was me making an executive.
It's something that could be done now. Okay. Well,
if we're going to move forward on it.
Let's we'll get to the rest of that in due time. Let's see, minutes from the last meeting. Did anyone have any additions, corrections, changes?
Make the motion that they be approved as written.
Okay.
Seconding.
Gail seconds. All in favor of approving the minutes as written, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, motion carries. Okay, we're gonna got the library display planning coming up. Sharon's gonna give us an update on it, and we're gonna figure out and figure out when we're all gonna meet over there. At least those of us that can put this thing together. So Sharon, why don't you go ahead and
give an update.
Yay, Sharon.
Yeah.
First, let me get to the dates. So I went to the library a couple months ago and signed us up for display like we've done in the past. And this year we our dates are March 9th through around April 19th. So almost 6 weeks. And we will have the same CD display cases that we've had in the past. And so those are, it's actually 2 separate display cases, but they're side by side. And if for whatever reason, I'm not going to be here to actually help set it up, but what I've done today is I've brought some things that we've used in the past. And if for some reason you feel like you don't have enough to fill both display cases, Mike Bauer is really easy to work with, and you'd be just fine filling up one. He would understand. So you take that pressure off.
Gail has big plans though.
Yeah, but actually I was thinking 1. So
okay.
We'll see what happens when we get there, which is nice having comfort.
In the past, we've also displayed some library books in the display case, and we brought some of our own like books, like tree reference books, and like I've always put in a copy of the Lorax, you know, just on display there that I brought myself. But we also use the opportunity to display some of the library's urban forestry books and tree books. And the library makes it really easy for you. You just go and there's a whole section on urban forestry and trees. And so you find that section and then let Mike Bauer know what you're doing, and he will check those books out under the library's library card.
On that day, right?
On that day.
Okay, good.
Yeah. Yeah. At least that's what we've done in the past. And it's been a couple of years since we've had a display because of COVID and everything. I know that Jared, at the former urban forester, he had printed out a lot of really great posters. And I know that when I took them down and gave them back to him. So I don't know if they're around somewhere. Like I still had one that he had printed out that was like the mission, the stated mission from the city. So this you can use again if that's agreeable.
It would be so great to have his stuff.
Yeah.
Do we have his phone number? I mean, maybe we could just call him and say, do you, or Cammy, no, you don't know.
I don't have a personal number for him.
I just imagine it sitting in a box
Yeah.
somewhere, and maybe it's
Well,
up
and
with the
it's-
tree booklets
so
or.
challenging because we've literally moved everything in City
Oh,
Hall like
okay.
3 times during this
Yeah,
new
yeah.
model, and
Probably,
it's in a pod.
probably.
That's not a big deal.
Let's see. I'm just gonna quickly just show you some of these. Oh, this was a nice one. Why is the urban tree canopy important?
Yeah.
And again, these were definitions from the city. So we're coming from the Sandpoint city. And okay. Well, yeah, whatever. This is when we planted the tree in front of the library when the library was doing its remodel. And then I've got a photo of the tree actually planted, and that's been like a few years ago now. Again, you don't have to use this. I just brought it just in case.
Thank you for saving everything.
And then these are photos that I had taken, and then we hung them like a kind of like a clothesline, right?
Yeah,
and that was kind of a nice way.
That was neat. Yeah.
Okay, and so like this is my neighbor kids, so we're climbing a street tree, an apple tree in our yard. I had a little caption. Oh yeah, like harvesting the apples from a backyard tree. And this is that neighborhood's tree in front of the library.
Wow.
That was planted in 2018. How big will the tree be in?
Is that an ash? What is that?
I can't remember.
Was that an ash?
No, it doesn't.
It looks like an ash, but I can't.
I don't
see
think
it.
it was an ash. What was it? It was.
Here we have Bill. He's doing an ID.
Yeah, probably is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Compound leaves and
Yeah, it looks like a true ash, not a mountain ash.
yeah.
Yeah.
not-
Oh,
not-
okay. Okay. I was
Yeah,
thinking
yeah.
mountain ash. I knew it wasn't a mountain ash.
Yeah.
Actually, if somebody wants to take a photo today, have them, side by side, that would be
Wouldn't have leaves
fun.
on it, but
And then just
Oh,
like
yeah.
a few, like just urban forest, here's in their parks. And, there's a
Oh, yeah.
squirrel.
Yeah. Kids
then
and,
just
and
leaves.
wildlife, you can't
Yeah.
beat that.
That's
So,
Yeah.
right.
those are great.
So,
Thank you, Sharon.
Oh,
Good
yeah.
job.
so whoever's taking this on, and it sounds like Gail, I'll just leave you with all of
You know, and if no one else can come to help, I'm thinking I'm gonna hire Diana
Oh,
to come, and she's very, you know, able to say, oh, yes, let's, so.
Awesome.
So if no one else can come, I'll feel okay.
What is the date?
The 9th.
The 9th,
That's
March
it.
9th.
That's
Yes.
the day,
And
yeah.
what day of the week is that?
Oh.
Good question. Anybody have their phone
I
out?
don't know.
I'll tell you. March 9th is a Wednesday.
A Wednesday.
Wednesday.
So is that a good day for folks to meet?
I'm on, so.
I was,
And again,
I was planning on
Yeah,
coming.
and maybe Eileen, and if, like I say, if no one else can come, I will.
What time are you doing that?
I don't know, like in the morning, when the library opens at 9 or 9. I'm not
I'll
sure.
be leaving this with you, and I believe it has Mike Bauer's contact information. So
Okay,
you just
good.
call the library's number and ask for his extension. So like if you can't make it on the 9th,
Right.
and you can do it maybe like the 10th or 11th. It's
Right.
very easy to work
It's our
with them.
space, it's our
Yeah.
time, and they're
But we
empty
have
right
it
now.
reserved from the 9th to April
Okay.
19th.
Thanks,
so,
Boo.
yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, do we have
Yeah.
applications for this to put in here?
so this was something that we did before. So I stuck it on the outside of the display and put the neighborhoods applications,
Okay.
and people were taking them. So
How'd you
Remember
stick that
I think
on there?
we used
Ruth?
that sticky stuff.
Really?
I did
Thank
find, I
you.
remembered that you liked this a
Oh,
lot. So it was like this kind of tacky, sticky
Amazing
stuff.
sticky stuff, yes.
Okay,
Okay, very good. I'll be taking,
so you can,
there's probably no place to store anything, and I actually have a car, so I will just take this with me.
yeah,
Because
that's
no
what I
one
figured.
said we could
Yeah.
store here.
And I need the photos back,
Absolutely.
especially the
babe.
ones for
Everything.
Muffy's kids, so.
The whole unit.
For her,
I'll
so.
give
So
it
what
to
is
her.
that? You're making a list.
Yeah,
Those little clues for the hang. What did you? hang?
I put it in there. I don't have baby ones, but.
I
And we'll
put
see
it,
how it all
there's, I
goes.
gave, here's a few.
For you. I wish there were more. What? I don't know about printing things up,
And then
so.
you've got the sticky tape too.
Yeah, thank you, Boo.
Okay, that's what I've got.
Thank you. Did anyone have a snag that we could, no snags? I was dreaming of like a hunk of a snag that's not gigantic and that we could have like inside, and we can have like chickadees and woodpeckers and.
Oh,
Did you say
a snag.
A snag,
Yeah.
you know, a
Yeah,
standing
Standing
yeah.
dead tree, yeah.
Okay.
after the winds, or
How, let's see,
it's really, the case is probably 4 feet tall.
yeah.
Yeah.
And so
Oh, it
you would
gives
maybe
the
want
dimensions,
something,
actually.
maybe 5-6 inches at the largest.
As far as deep, I'm sorry, Boo, right?
Yeah. that's
Yeah,
Yeah,
accurate.
as far as deep, but it would be great. You know how sometimes you find them and it's just like a part of the full snag?
Yeah,
And I have one in my garden, but it's attached to things, so I would
Yeah.
rather not rip everything apart.
I've got some possibilities at home because I
Thank
just
you,
had a
babe.
couple trees fall in it, so.
Okay,
Yeah.
and or Rich was
70
saying,
inches.
Yeah, Rich would have
Maximum
access,
height.
but yeah.
he was saying he wanted to bring a birch, a clump, a thing of birch, and whatever it might be, we need some real, I feel that it would be great to have some real trees.
That sounds beautiful.
It's
I think it's a
beautiful.
great idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, I wonder about Rich. Is he around, or can you write that down as your assignment?
Yeah, oh yeah, I'm writing it down right
So
now.
now, then we need to figure out you may bring it to my house if you like, if you have it, because otherwise trying to figure it out that morning.
Yeah,
We also had a Tree City USA
Mm.
flag,
Flag,
and we
yeah.
kind of displayed that on the
bottom.
bottom, if that's something that the city can find.
every year the city. you know,
Sorry,
Yeah.
I'm putting it all
Yeah.
on you,
Yeah.
but I don't know if you have
I already
anything to
said
do with
everything's
this.
already in
There's a
boxes.
little box for Tree City USA, and every year it contains the flag, and it contains the little stickers of how many years you've been in Tree City USA.
Yeah.
Sometimes it has a Tree City USA cap and things like that. So somewhere, of course, like you mentioned, Cammie, all of the different moves and things like that. there should be a Tree City, USA flag. If not, we could check with Department of Lands in Coeur d'Alene, and they maybe would have something. But yeah, that really,
We only have like a
it's
little
an
bit of
attractive
time.
sign, and
Yeah,
it makes a nice
it's a great-
background,
yeah.
and it shows the acknowledgement of
Yeah.
Very
Sandpoint
efficient.
being
Yeah.
a Tree City, USA.
Yeah.
I have not.
I can go look through Kim's old office, but other than that, I have no idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't even think Ken was our guy at the time when
No.
we did the window last. It was
Would
Jared.
have been Jared.
Huh. Okay, well, all right. So I have some other ideas too to add to this
Yeah.
thing because we need a title.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I thought I would do on brown paper, a title looking like a banner or something saying our urban forest. Are you guys good with that heading?
Yes.
Our urban forest. Then if we had a snag, yay. I will also make a tree bagged looking like it's ready to be planted. And then I'll put a little hanging thing saying, plant me. And if we had like a little shovel or something next to it, would be cool. If anyone has any of these things, let me know.
I'm going to be getting some seedlings in from the U of I.
Oh, real?
To plant. I buy some every year. I could set one aside and.
But it would die, right, babe?
It's not bare root. No, it's in a plug. If you kept it wrapped, well, yeah, it wouldn't survive 6 weeks.
No.
But
I'll make a fake one. It's
So
Okay.
if you just use like a lilac tree branch or something.
Yeah, I was
they look
thinking
resilient even when they're
aspen.
dead.
Yeah. I've got a plan. So I'll do that. And then books are important. You brought great books last time. Eric.
I didn't, but I have some
It
set
was the
aside
guy from the
that I'll
Idaho
bring.
IDL.
Yeah, probably
Eric.
Eric Showquist, yeah.
Eric brought a lot of great
Yeah.
books.
And I've got some a dendrology, a tree identification book from the 1950s or something. And so
Okay,
really
good.
kind of make a nice, just leave it opened up or and it's as part of a
And I'm
display.
counting on
Yeah.
you for that. Okay.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
another
it's on
nice
my list, yeah.
thing that the library has is they have a lot of hooks. And
Right,
Yeah,
they have
shelves.
and then they have like little boxes so you can arrange different heights, which,
Yeah.
helps make it a little more interesting. But also if you have anything like that, you want to bring like little blocks of wood or something like that. It's a
bookends.
nice
Oh,
way to
yeah, Bill,
create.
you've got the circle tree with the rings.
I do.
You've got it.
Yeah,
Are
I
you bringing it?
Yes.
Okay.
Maybe a cherry for our next one.
Who cares?
I
It's a
don't know.
slice, right?
Right.
Eileen is bringing the slice.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, I think last time
Oh,
Eric
yeah.
Showquist with Department of Lands brought an increment board, to illustrate taking a core sample.
Oh, yeah.
Because I remember there was an increment board kind of, there, I could bring it then. And so, and so that could be next to the tree cross section. And then with the increment bore and then having a core sample taken from a tree. So it's a way of illustrating, here's how you take the age of a tree
Without
and assess the
killing.
growth. Yeah, without.
Yeah.
Can you write some words? I mean, I'll bring a marker and some extra.
I'll
papers.
I'll bring the text in my head and then I'll dictate it to you.
Okay,
Because you can put your artistic flair to
Okay,
it.
yeah. Okay, another crazy feature I've been thinking about, and I'm testing it now, is clear. It's like, looks like contact paper, clear, but you can pull it right off the window. So I was thinking, do a strip
Oh.
around the edges so that you've got this other layer, and it would say, our trees provide us with, and then a zillion words, which I was hoping you guys would like give me a zillion words.
I love that idea, Gail.
Okay,
Yeah,
I
that's
need a
never been
zillion-
done before.
A zillion words, please. Yes, and no one has said you may not do that. And it does rip right off the glass without any harm, so that's another idea.
That's a good one.
Of
that
this.
Everybody seems to like.
So
Yeah,
are you incorporating anything that has to do with promoting Arbor Day in this
well, we used to have, you mean our name, Arbor Day?
Because Arbor Day is the 150th anniversary, and it might be advantageous to put something.
I personally
promote that.
don't know how to do the words and print them up. You know, like Sharon's things here. I don't know how to do that. So if anyone does,
There's probably
There's otherwise
some some printed material out there from the
Yeah.
Arbor Day Foundation, and
Right.
if that is something
Yeah.
I'm gonna.
I don't know, it seems like it's a good opportunity to do that.
Absolutely.
Events.
Yeah.
okay, I'm not taking that part on. If someone knows how to do that, that'd be great. Arbor Day.
We also at one point had like a little poster that showed the steps for
Neighborhood.
neighborhoods,
We need a neighborhoods thing.
and that was probably something that's in Jared's box. But if it could be printed, something like that could be printed out again.
Where's the info? And then who would like to do that? I'll be there to make it all come together, but I don't,
No.
the printing of the.
Is that-
Well, I can create whatever.
You have time.
No.
I have-
If you know what you're looking for, I can easily create it.
Well, we would
Something
like
to print
something
out.
that tells about our neighborhoods program. We're gonna have this little box on the outside with the, what are the applications.
At the very least have where the website where they can go to find more information, see if you're eligible for a neighborhood street tree.
It's a little bit tricky, quite frankly, because we are in the middle of the planning, which might be revamping the program.
Okay.
So I'm a
And
little
if
bit
this
leery
isn't the year
about
to do that,
putting-
that's fine
putting
too. But
too much out there. These are the steps, like for example, with the tree assessment, that
Yeah.
was a Band-Aid to get us through, a Band-Aid process to get us through till we know.
and sometimes just letting the community know that this program exists,
Yeah.
even if you're not quite ready to give all the details,
Yeah,
is good, because I'm always amazed at how many people aren't even aware.
and we have our website. I'm just looking at what, if there was something to create. Well, I can definitely create something. There is an application, the pledge. And this is a nice document all by itself. if it
Use
was
what is there.
printed
And then
out.
you could print it into a piece that I can mount and it will be quite clear. And maybe next to our little tree that's in a bag. I don't know. Now that you're saying we're changing our program. I don't know.
With the shovel.
Yes.
We're going through the master plan. And the master plans can identify all the strengths and opportunities for improvement, places that, I don't know if it's gonna
Yeah.
get revamped, but he's gonna look at all of it.
Okay.
We're not
Well,
ready to do this year, but something to think about in the future is actually going around and getting some really great photographs of some of the neighborhood trees that have been planted, and even having a display case that is all about neighborhoods in the future. But this isn't the year to do that because, obviously we're
That's a
still really
great
thinking
idea, though.
about the
Yeah.
process and things are changing, but sometime in the future. And it's in some ways it's, that it can be inspired from, have you seen the tree booklet So, I mean, it's something similar
Right,
to
right.
that, but kind of, updated.
Yeah.
That tree
I mean,
booklet is like 15 years old now, right?
Yeah.
And I think there's one right there at the library. over by the-
The library used to have some,
Over
in
there.
their free section,
Yeah.
but.
Because I used to put them there.
You
Good.
can-
Thank you.
So they
Yeah,
might not
I
be
haven't
there.
done that in a while.
But maybe we could have a supply in
still-
one of the little brochure holders or
Yep,
something.
we did that. We actually put the neighborhoods application in a booklet.
Yeah,
And then also use this opportunity to put another big stack of tree
Which was-
booklets,
yeah.
even on the other side of that
Right.
entry where
Yeah.
the free stuff
So
is.
now
Yeah.
where are they? Where are our boxes
I
of?
want to say I know where the boxes of the tree booklet's are.
They used to be
We moved
upstairs in
I
that.
moved that.
Okay. Yeah.
That's
There's
where
a
they
lot,
used
there's
to.
still a lot, isn't there?
Yeah.
Yeah, we need to start pushing these.
oh, I need to, off the subject, I'd like to get a few because I stuff them in some of the free libriries around as I'm driving
Oh,
around.
good
And it's
idea.
surprising,
Oh, that's so nice.
they get snatched up pretty quickly.
Oh,
So
that's cool.
Yeah.
maybe
Well, and we can print out
if you could bring a
these.
handful at the
Can
next
definitely
meeting.
put
then,
out
yeah.
packets of applications and then
And most days, if you just stop by my little cubicle, I can grab you some more.
Can you get your little cubicle through all of the?
Around the back way.
Okay.
Meg, could you also print some applications now that they've been abridged?
Yeah, that's what I just said.
Okay,
Yeah.
good. Oh, you did? I'm sorry. Okay, good. Application. So
Perfect.
you're gonna do that. All right, good. Thank you. So now there's also the pickup time. I need to actually get all this group together. Well, that's something.
Do you need it ahead of time or can I just bring it like
Are
on
you
setup day?
thinking about coming that day? Really?
Yeah, I could come that day, but probably not right at 9, maybe 10 or 10:30.
Yeah, I have a meeting that morning.
Okay, it would be way better in real life if everything was there. And like you say, it might be at
Okay.
the end, we can't fill a second case.
Yeah.
Maybe we only can fill
Okay.
one. So if we, do you know where my
So I
house
could,
is?
I could bring a box of stuff and drop it off at your place sometime.
That would be very
I'll-
good. Do you remember where,
Yeah.
with the mutant maple trees?
Mhm. Yeah.
That's us. Okay, good. Eek. Is that it? Oh, could we take a minute and make a little list of what our trees do, what our trees provide us with? Ready, get set, I have a pencil.
I just with fresh air.
Fresh air, thank you.
Shade,
Yes,
calm,
okay, yeah.
stormwater management.
Clean water.
Clean water, there you go. Filtered water.
Yeah, clean air, clean water.
Shade, what's it, like
Animal
emotional?
habitat.
Oh, yes, thank you.
Yeah.
Wildlife.
Emotional well-being.
Yeah.
That, yes, that's kind of what it was.
Natural beauty.
Okay, keep going.
Playground for children.
Playground, that's, I was trying to
Yeah.
figure out a good
Yeah,
way,
yeah.
Hammock.
Hammock holders.
Yeah. That's a good
Okay,
one.
Eileen came up with that one.
Poetry, inspiration.
Yeah, wildlife or.
I
or
put-
something
And
related to
habitat.
yeah,
I put
habitat.
animal habitat.
Yeah, that's good.
How about like building or shelter? Should we go?
Windbreaks. Shelter is, or shelter, you know.
Mhm. Okay. As the meeting goes on, you guys can add.
Yes.
Yeah.
Great,
Yeah.
great idea,
I
Gail.
think we got some other stuff to cover here.
Yes,
And we're-
okay,
I think
good.
that
We
was-
do need to
that was
get out of
good.
here. We need to clear the room by 10. So
Here are the dimensions right here, just so you know what you're working
there's
with.
another meeting coming in.
Okay.
So let's move on. Gail, maybe you can just keep us up to date on how things are coming along or
How would I
when you
do
need to
that
get stuff in. or-
Officially speaking,
Yeah.
am I allowed? I don't have anybody's phone numbers, by the way. Wouldn't that be nice to have?
Yes.
I have an email, but I don't,
Is there a group email list?
that's what would be good. Something where I can do that and be officially proper.
Okay.
You know what I
Um,
mean? Like, we're not allowed to.
Yeah, I guess I just assumed people had ways to get in touch with each other, but maybe
I
that's
can-
lacking here.
Yeah, a phone number list would be great. We could
Okay,
just
so
do
we
that
should-
right now.
We need like a
Can
phone.
I just type that up for that one?
Yeah, I
Thank
don't know why we
you.
can't share, as long as everyone agrees.
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
Yay.
I don't have any
Thank you,
weird
Cam.
rules about that. I don't know.
Great.
Maybe I'm missing something.
That's
but
fine.
We've heard
everyone has-
things.
Sounds reasonable to me.
Okay,
Yeah.
now one more thing on this project is that Jennifer last time said we had to go in front of the city council with this idea. When would that happen?
I don't,
Was
I
it
didn't think it
city
was-
council or the,
What,
Urban forest.
no, the public relations, what's the position with the
Oh,
city now? Pardon?
Are you talking about HR?
No, not HR,
Like,
kind of a
There isn't any
screening
The
for all.
media
Yeah.
person.
Well,
for the
Is there a
Jennifer's
public
in it.
relations or, what's
She's
the,
she
the,
said city
she
council.
is the media person.
okay,
That's the public POI. It's the
P-
public
okay, yeah.
Outreach officer
public information
or
officer,
public
yeah.
information officer.
PIL,
sorry.
yeah.
And she is responsible for that. it's just so that Sandpoint carries one message with the public instead of like if Cammie told a story and then I told a story and then 5 other people told the same story, it's going to be a different story, right? So she just controls the public messaging. I'm not really sure how that relates to her request for you to go to city council, but my interpretation, I don't know why she said for you to go to city council. What if you were, the reason to go to city council would be to update them on something that you're doing and to introduce yourself.
That's what she said.
I think at this point, if you have an issue that city council needs to weigh in on, that's an action item. But if it's just an informational item, which is what it sounds like, and you just want to tell them about this and introduce yourselves, you're one of the only committees that is left in the city. And so I would encourage you, if that's what she had mentioned. Sorry, I wasn't here for the whole meeting.
But when is the next city council meeting?
It's next week, but here's the thing, if you're gonna go to city council, you need to get on the agenda a full week in advance. So I would need to know.
Yeah, and I don't think
I
that's
don't think it's
necessary.
necessary.
No,
Yeah,
no, it's not for,
Unless she has a case to make that's necessary, that we're missing. But
I would think for Arbor Day would be something to certainly let them know about because there's gonna be an event.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay.
I'm assuming we're all part of this.
Okay, and we're moving the date, right? Arbor Day is now not in April.
And that's our next action.
Oh, I'm
item.
sorry.
So
Okay,
should
yes,
we
very
start-
good.
Okay, yeah, we do
Move on
need
to
to move
Arbor
on
Day?
here. And Arbor Day, typically the last Friday, is it in
In April.
April? And what did you say about moving the date? Or
I thought
we hadn't held it on that date for quite a number of years, but
Yes.
I thought that was what we're thinking of this year.
Yeah.
Do you know, Maeve?
From my meeting notes, I ran with a draft agenda that you should have had in your packet that Cammie sent out. And the date that I picked was for the following Saturday only so that we could have events at a park and I could participate because I work all day. So I thought, let's do it on a Saturday and more people could participate. And I ran it by Jennifer and she said, that sounds great. That was it. That's the extent of it. And then I threw together a draft agenda before I talked to anybody outside of here. I wanted to check with you all and see if that worked. If you don't have copies of your agenda, we could share them.
Isn't Bonnie and Nick, aren't they?
I
They,
emailed Bonnie
okay.
and she said, yeah, we should coordinate our activities. And I think that's as far as we've gotten. But
But we're still holding to the April date or whatever.
So the
I
date
haven't
is
heard
Friday.
any differently.
Friday,
But
the
I should.
20th.
No, it would be Saturday.
No. The actual Arbor Day
It's
is the Friday, the 28th of April. That's the national day, or sorry, I'm sorry, the 29th, Friday, the 29th. I just proposed that we do it on Saturday, the 30th for the city event. That doesn't mean that there can't be things that happen like at a school or some other association or group on the 29th. It's just that when we met last time, we talked about doing something at Lakeview Park. And so I ran with it and came up with an agenda.
Yeah, we've done that before.
Yeah,
And it's
and
worked really
Rich had
nicely.
offered to teach like a pruning class as part of Arbor Day activity. And then, of course, we'll have to have our formal ceremony and proclamation from the mayor to recognize Arbor Day.
Yeah, so it's the 150th anniversary. You guys should have gotten, did you not get your packets last week?
I don't think that you gave me the agenda because you told me not to make it public.
I haven't seen anything like that.
I don't think I've got it.
Let's see, what I remember getting is this agenda here,
Right.
With the
And then-
packet?
and then the meeting minutes, and then the information about that tree removal.
So along that, were we gonna plant a tree?
Did
Was
they get
that
a
part of it?
They
We
should
talked-
have gotten.
Because Kim was saying,
the
yes,
stuff
there
that I
is
have
room
here
for
about
another
the food that we
tree,
were gonna
which-
talk about and the tree
I don't know.
removal thing.
Yeah.
And is it
I
just
don't think
us?
anything's really set in stone at this point, but it
But
would
I
be
don't
nice.
think I
Yeah, it
So
would be
no.
nice
to do
included
that.
It's fine. Let's see. if-
No,
Yeah, because we have to find a tree.
Yeah, we'd have to find a tree.
I'm not
Well, I don't think that's,
Okay.
that
Too
that
hard.
shouldn't be too hard.
So this would be a singular event on April 30th, Saturday
Yeah.
at Lakeview Park. And Yeah, so we're not coordinating with any other groups? Or-
Well,
We can.
that's still in the
Yeah, we
works.
can, okay.
I'm trying to find out what the Kinnecott Native Plant Society has planned, because I think
Okay.
they have some thoughts on it too. So
Yeah,
we just need to make sure that we're not running over the top of each other and
Yeah.
Yeah.
and things
Well,
mesh.
what if we had a coordination meeting separate from this group? Anyone
That would be a
else?
good idea.
Yeah,
Because it sounds like, and I'm sorry, it sounds like Kimmy didn't get you guys the agenda, so I'm talking to Eric because no one can see what I can see, but I have
Okay.
it pulled up and we can't figure out how to get it on the screen. So, so there is a pretty elaborate agenda that I proposed to
Oh,
you
wow.
all.
Uh,
It's organized.
oh, wow.
Looks good
Can
to
you
me.
read it to us?
Yeah. I can-
I make a motion.
Basically, I just said the time, 8 to 2 p.m. was my tentative time. I really don't care.
It's like 10 to 2.
Yeah. Second that motion.
If that works, I just thought kind of the morning, and then just workshops, that there would be a design workshop, the right tree, right place, and utilize local landscape architects and designers as volunteers. So I thought that could be a workshop area where they maybe do one sample project and meet with people. So it's sort of set up in stations.
Yeah.
And then one would be tree planting, one would be tree pruning or care and maintenance. And then I thought a community activity where it's community tree planting activity at the park. And I proposed for Memorial Park or somewhere in the Lakeview Park, but Memorial more because we could just walk over, and we just finished a project there. So we could easily put a tree into the
That's
landscape.
awesome. Did you know that there's already an existing grove there where we have planted trees
I
over the
didn't.
years?
That's
on
awesome.
Arbor
No,
Day,
I
so
had
it's
no
perfect.
idea.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It
that's
runs
great.
parallel to, is that Ontario? Yeah, Ontario. I mean, it's set back in the lawn area.
Oh, okay.
But-
Great. Yeah.
Yeah.
If you wanted to just go with that, that's totally
yeah.
fine. I mean, I just thought we already have landscaping at Memorial with where my mind went, and there's irrigation there. So I was thinking we could use the Pleasanton in, but I have no qualms about where something would go. I just think generally in that area is a good
Yeah.
place. And then I just said other curriculum ideas. There's a lot of stuff because it's the 150th anniversary. So there's a lot of content out there.
Nice.
That we could easily poach. And then as far as the school goes, I wasn't sure. There's a whole reference document called the Arbor Day Tree Campus. If you click on the website, it'll go to it. But they have all kinds of stuff for the schools. I didn't know if we wanted to do any outreach in the schools. And then I started identifying marketing resources, and there's a community forestry newsletter that goes out by the Idaho Department of Lands, and I thought we could write a blip for them to make an announcement. And then of course we do our own outreach here. And permits, I wasn't sure what permits would be required. And then I have an item for supplies, what kind of tools, soil amendments, fertilizer, whatnot, food, beverage, what do we want to have,
Yeah.
that kind of stuff. And then an item for giveaways. Garth, the arborist who helps with our tree hazard assessment. I just met him, by the way. Bear with me. I know you've been doing this
You're
for a long
doing
time,
great.
but I
You're-
just met him and he told me that he is more than happy to help and he could provide seedlings through his programs.
That's great.
And the local Home Depot store and possibly some other nurseries give away seedlings too. So I thought if we could arrange for Garth to maybe bring seedlings to this event and then pick them up there, that might be an opportunity. And then when I ran this by Jennifer, she mentioned, because we haven't gotten the survey out yet, that maybe we tack on the opportunity to get a free seedling. If you do your survey, you could then show up this day and pick up your seedling. So we haven't flushed it all the way out yet, but if that's something that we wanted to do, we could take that route. And then for city staff and volunteers, I put our city staff, it would be me and then the maintenance. I didn't put you, Cami, because I didn't want to obligate you to a Saturday, but and then I also put the Native Plant Society, IDL, and the Association of Landscape Architects, because there's landscape architects here. There's a couple that are retired and they tend to do things like this. And I'm not afraid to ask them and talk to them. I haven't met really anyone yet, but one woman named Karen Karen, who lives close to here. She has an
Right,
office.
yeah.
Karen Olson, something like that.
Oh,
So I
I
thought
think so.
maybe some of her
Karen,
staff.
is it Karen Olson?
Yes, I think so.
Okay, yeah,
She
she's got
has
a little nursery.
4 or 5 people. Yeah,
And
and
does a
she
lot of
has
landscape
a
work.
firm right
Yeah.
now that's they're ramped up. She's got a lot of, well, 4 or 5 people, which is a lot. And then sometimes the architects have landscape architects that they work with that might, I don't know if they work here or live here or not. So that could help. And I know you all would know people that are in the horticulture world. And I just didn't have those resources. So that's just the draft agenda.
Wow.
Well, that sounds like the best Arbor Day ever.
Who will do it?
Good job.
So I guess yeah, we should have a little discussion about it, but it seems like maybe the next step would be to set a meeting separate from this meeting in the next week or so.
Yeah.
Anyone that would be interested, just have it called a committee, would be the proper way to do it, the Arbor Day committee, and then anyone that you thought and anyone that I thought, we invite to that meeting, and at that meeting, we flush out this.
Okay, so if we have a meeting like that, how's that fit in with like our open meeting law? Is that like
Then it comes
official?
back, then the committee, which since I assumed that I was in charge of this, so then I would come back and report to you the findings of the committee and what we're doing.
Okay.
At the next big meeting. So that's how subcommittees work. They go off, they do the business, they come back and report. And then if everyone gets triggered at the bigger, broader picture, then, which you will, then you'd be notified at the next meeting. So our next meeting is not till March. So it may be advantageous to send out an email and give you an update in advance and saying, yes, this is a go, this is the final agenda, this is who's gonna do what, this is the time,
Wow.
please take off this day.
Okay, thank
The
you.
museum is also part of it.
Yeah,
They got together.
Oh,
with
that's
Penny
that's good information, Eileen. Yeah, the Bonner County History Museum, just located right
And I
there.
don't know, you
Yeah,
haven't
exactly.
reached Bonnie yet, so I don't know where they are. I mean, what they're doing.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
But
That's why.
but if they can join us at this
yeah.
Arbor Day committee meeting,
Yeah.
and definitely put me on the list for that meeting.
So if you're all comfortable, I'll set up a meeting.
That would be
committee
awesome.
meeting, and then you'll all be invited, of course, but it'll probably just be separate from this meeting and don't feel
Sure,
obliged.
yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
No, that's the best way to
Maybe
flesh
if
out the
everybody's
details.
there, it has to be an official meeting.
If it's a committee meeting,
If it has a quorum of people from this meeting, then yes.
Okay, so we can't have more than 3.
I'm not
Okay.
coming.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm really confused. So we're
I'll be
talking
out of
about
town.
just having a committee meeting to plan the
Arbor
Arbor
Day.
Day separate.
If it's still though, if it is a quorum of the commission members, it has to be treated as a open public meeting.
If it's
Okay.
not if there's not a quorum, then it doesn't have to, it could just be sort of a,
Okay,
Maybe
we can make
that's-
sure we don't
that's
get a
correct.
quorum.
I'm sorry
So if
to-
not
to-
everybody
yes.
comes to the meeting, then.
Okay.
I won't come.
I mean,
Sharon's got a
I'm
new
out of
job.
town.
Yeah.
I'll figure out the nuances of this meeting.
Yeah.
Either way, the point being that we all
Even
need
just
to
having a single representative,
plan.
right?
Yeah, and
The
Bob
committee
would-
makes sense.
And Bob, with his association with.
Yeah, with the-
Rick, yeah.
Yeah.
Perfect.
It's just a planning meeting.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I've just never
I'm
heard
sorry,
of
but
this process.
that's like, this is an official commission.
Yeah.
And that's
Okay.
the law, so.
No, it's fine. I just,
Yeah,
I wasn't
I
aware.
hate to rain
of
on
that.
everybody's parade and do it the second I
It's-
walked in the door, but I'm like, what?
It's fine. It's just a planning meeting. I'm just trying to have it separate from this meeting because this next meeting is not till March. And we need to plan Arbor Day.
They can treat it, if you have a quorum, you can just treat it as a special meeting. I mean, you're
Okay.
not stuck on your meeting
Yeah.
schedule. I'm just saying it
Okay.
has to be an open public meeting.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. All right. Then we'll just do that.
Sorry, I didn't make the rules.
So who's
It's good that we know him now. though.
contacting?
Yes.
well, I
Later.
don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe
Who's
May.
contact-
Why don't I just take care of that
All right.
and
so
I'll
thank
figure it
you.
all out. And
So
I'll,
it's, the contact is Bonnie, right?
and if
And-
you want to
have the
reach
phone number?
Bonnie.
The contact is Bonnie.
Yeah, Bonnie
Kenny
Jacobus.
Connect. Do you
Yeah.
have her number or whatever? So,
I have Bonnie's.
okay, all right.
Do you have a phone number that we could talk to, are we allowed to talk to one? Oh, may I have your phone number?
Of course.
Very good. Oh, Cammie's gonna give it to us?
Yeah, she's gonna get
Very nice. Thank you.
It's only problematic if you're talking to one another about committee, if it's one or two of you, but if you start getting a
Whole group.
email chain and you're, you know, reply to all and people are talking, then that's where, again, it's subject to open public meeting, and that's a problem.
Like, bring your leaves. Where's your
I'm
snag?
sorry, there's an have to follow all the rules.
So can you back up and explain that right there, that they're trying to organize
Library display.
the library
case.
display case, and are they allowed to talk to each other?
Not with the whole group. No, it has to be in an open public meeting because this is an official commission. So.
But one-on-one. Excellent.
One-on-one, yes.
That's what you need to.
I do. I just
organize
need,
this.
yes.
And so I
okay,
could
good.
contact Gail and say,
You may.
I'm bringing the snag and
If you show up at my house, I'm talking to you.
yeah.
And
They're just trying to figure out
What's
bringing
right.
what where. But that doesn't need to be a public meeting.
If it's the whole group, if everyone's talking and coordinating
Okay.
amongst one another, yes, it is an open public meeting. And subject to open public meeting laws.
And what's required to do that? Like to say it's an open meeting? It has to be written
We have to
somewhere?
notice that it's a public meeting, and same thing as this, if a member of the public wants to come in, then
Right.
they can come in. So it doesn't prohibit you from having special meetings, in between meetings, or anything else. It just has to be an
formalized.
open, documented public meeting.
Okay.
Sorry, but if we violate it, we get in big trouble. So
Who gets you in trouble?
it can go to the Attorney General and
At the
yeah.
state.
yeah, and
Wow.
You could be arrested.
it's an issue right now. There's an issue on that with the county right now.
Yeah, that's
relative
the
to a
county
meeting.
commissioners.
So,
Yeah.
yeah. And a commission, a formal committee, a formal commission is an official city committee or commission. So you guys are kind of like council or planning and zoning commission where they're open public meetings. We have to notice them properly. So any communications outside, like if there's group emails and things, that violates open public meeting law.
Is there any other way to like share open emails? Because it seems like it's really a burden not to be able
A
to
hindrance.
communicate that way.
I'm just gonna say
I know.
I'm
Okay.
sorry. I'm sorry. We
Okay.
send announcements to council members, but there's no chatting one across the group.
Okay,
That's now a
So
meeting.
to clarify, if I want to have a meeting to plan an Arbor Day, it has to be a public meeting.
If you're gonna have at least a quorum of this group, yes.
But it
But
doesn't
we're gonna
sound
make
like
sure
that's
there's
gonna
no
happen.
more.
You're not.
It doesn't sound like that's gonna happen.
Okay.
Well, maybe Bob, you and I just work together on it.
I think that would be
makes a lot
better.
of
So let's
sense.
just do that.
Yeah.
And then we'll just reach out to who we need to reach out to and figure it out. And then we'll update everyone in a public fashion.
Yeah.
Like at the next meeting, if we
I-
then,
I
that
think,
would work.
I think that would give us enough time. Yeah.
Are you
If we
going to
have-
Thank
have
you, guys.
somebody from Canopy?
Yes.
Yeah.
But they are not.
It sounds like my understanding is that if just all of you,
Yeah.
if I had a separate meeting with all of you on the side to
Yeah.
do a planning meeting, we didn't open it up to the public, then we're not. But if Bob and I have a meeting.
Just a
and
single
one other person
representative
maybe, Yeah,
is
and then
fine.
we reach
Yeah.
out to outside parties, we can figure out at least the draft agenda,
Yeah.
we can refine that. And then we can come back to you at the next meeting
Yeah.
and say, yay or nay, do you approve?
Yeah.
And then you'll say yay, and we'll move ahead.
Yeah. And we have 2 formal commission meetings between now and Arbor Day in March and April. And
Right.
so if you and our Bob could bring us an update, especially in March, then most of the planning should be pretty
Yeah,
well
well,
underway.
so it would really help if today you all decided if you agree on the date, Saturday, April 30th, and pick the time. Because then that gives us something to work with when we invite others to participate.
Sure. Yeah.
Mhm.
And the fact that we're
And the
going to be
location.
offering the demonstrations that you mentioned, the tree pruning, tree planting, and the landscape aspect, probably Saturday would
Saturdays.
attract more of the
Yeah.
general public than Friday. Typically in the past, the Arbor Day has been on Friday, whether it's been on the last Friday of April or whatever, because school children have been involved and it's
Right.
easier for them to come on a school day. So, but since we're
Yeah,
departing
that's-
from that
If
format.
there's somebody if someone wants to do something with the school, that I probably would not be a participant in that. It's just
But that could still
Saturday.
happen.
Yeah, Saturday, I agree too.
Good,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, the Native Plant Society has had school programs every year. And it used to be tied to the Arbor Day on the Friday there, but then we kind of moved things around. We attached Arbor Day to the native plant sale, the plant sale that they had.
Which has typically been in June.
And it's been in June, and then we separated that again. So they're still doing the children's tree tours at the Arboretum, but it's usually over like a whole week period of time, so they don't get overwhelmed with 300 kids at once. But I think they're still doing that, but I don't know if that's going to be tied to Arbor Day per se. They usually like to wait till late May to do that.
Yeah, to get better weather typically.
Better weather
Part of
and
being recognized as a national urban forest community or something. I don't know. One of our recognitions, I'm probably saying this wrong. You're required to celebrate Arbor Day.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
Tree
and
City
maybe-
USA.
Tree City USA.
Okay,
Yeah,
so-
that's one of the requirements.
So I need to check some boxes.
Yeah.
And I think that's what we should flesh out is what are we committing to, and then what are we publicizing as Arbor Day?
Yeah.
And it can be a couple things and it could be staggered over however long, but we just need to identify it and then say, these are the different
Yeah.
events that are happening,
Yeah.
when and where and
Yeah.
time and all
Yeah.
that.
Sure.
Yeah.
What you described sounds like perfect. We've just in the past have had a different date for it just because we've in the past tried to do it during a time where we might
That makes sense.
have better weather.
Right.
But this is
No.
fine what
Yeah.
you described,
Okay.
and doing it right around the time of Arbor Day is
Okay.
good. And
Yeah, and to
it-
check that box for Tree City USA, is just have the city must, have an Arbor Day celebration.
And the mayor
It doesn't
must be
specify,
there.
to read the proclamation.
Yeah.
And it doesn't specify that it has to be on the state's designated
Yeah.
Arbor Day.
Yeah.
It could be any day of the year for that
Yeah.
matter, so.
So the mayor could maybe read the proclamation at city council.
Yeah.
That could be an option.
Yeah.
Yeah, we could maybe have him
guess
do
so.
that.
Yeah.
I don't see why
That
not.
might be
Yeah.
kind of neat, and then more people will be a part of it, and it could talk. You all could present what we're going to do on Arbor Day, and he could maybe read the proclamation. Then I don't know. That's an idea.
Mhm.
One
Yeah.
way to kill two birds with one
Yeah,
stone.
typically, at the Arbor Day celebration where the proclamation is given, it's somewhat preaching to the choir because it's, the tree lovers are there. So,
Yeah.
so if it is an opportunity to present it at council, then it's going to bring in the council members as to when they see Tree
I mean,
City USA,
And I'm
they
going
have
to go
some.
so far as to say perhaps you present the city or him with a seedling,
Yeah.
or do some sort of,
Yeah.
Yeah.
formal, like, hey, this is
A tree
a
booklet.
celebration
Yeah.
or a picture of your favorite tree in town. I don't know. There
Yeah.
could be, or maybe it's not
Yeah.
for him,
Yeah.
but maybe it's something that in your honor, we're presenting this to the school or the library. I don't know.
Yeah.
Just an idea of maybe upselling this a little bit so that it has a little bit of beef to it of why would you be at city council? You're telling about an event, you're introducing, reintroducing yourselves to the city, and then, I don't know, just an idea.
It's a great idea.
Of not wasting our, because we will have a slot on the agenda if we choose to go this route. And then also it gets people to maybe go to the event.
Yeah.
So it's a little marketing for the
Sure.
event too.
Yeah, that sounds great.
Yeah.
Does that seem like an
Yeah.
idea?
Yeah.
And the
too.
proclamation is read, and so
Yeah.
if it is bad weather, we don't have to worry about doing that out in the rain,
Here.
like it has happened in the
night?
past. And
All right.
Yeah.
Well, Bob, why don't you and I meet and we'll figure
We'll have a
some
captive
of the stuff out,
audience.
come up with a proposal for everybody
Yeah.
for the next time we all meet in
Thank
March,
you.
if that works.
Mhm.
Okay. We'll
That
flush
sounds
out.
real good. Yeah, I think we'll.
And let's tentatively plan, since Arbor Day is the end of the month in April, let's aim for that mid-April city council meeting. Does that work for you all?
I will be
I
there
think
if I'm in town.
And I'm pulling up my calendar right now to see what date that would be.
It'll be the 20th.
Thinking it's
April 20th.
yeah, the 20th.
Thank you for doing that, May. Great.
And like I mentioned earlier, May, there's that Tree City USA kit, and that would have like the flag. That would be nice to present at that time, or at least have on display. And
Okay. I'll see if I
Will,
can find.
will
Well,
we be
we want
receiving
that
another
one.
kit this year then?
yeah, yeah.
And prior to Arbor Day?
Well, that might be the stickler is because Department of Lands, I think, gears up towards having them, toward the end of April, but we can
Mhm.
check to see if they have them.
It seems like I remember having them at one of the mayor's
Yeah.
proclamations.
Yeah,
Yeah,
The
Stephen.
banner and the.
yeah, we've held the flag up
Yeah.
behind the mayor and yeah.
We have the kit that we got last
Oh, okay,
year.
you know where it is.
Oh, and you know
Okay,
where
yeah.
it is?
Yeah.
Great,
Yeah.
Oh, good.
okay.
Is
So-
that the thing we want for our display?
yeah, we would like to use that flag then for the library
The library
display too.
display.
So,
We can get it out.
Okay.
and then the library display would be finished by the time it would be needed for the,
Oh,
It
yeah.
would.
Oh.
How perfect is that?
that flag will be worn out.
Yeah.
Okay. So, right.
19, that's right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'll get that from Jennifer and then
You
I'll get it
will?
to you. Yeah.
Thank you.
I'm gonna throw out one idea for Arbor Day that might be pretty simple that you guys can discuss further. But if we're doing it there in Lakeview Park and we have planted those trees in the past on Arbor Day, I know we've talked about putting plaques by the trees, like to identify
Mhm.
the trees before, but it's expensive and haven't done that. But even just like a temporary little card or something hanging from the trees in that area that identify the tree species. So,
Uh-huh.
so people,
I think Tupelo was the last one we put in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We put in a
Yeah.
Tupelo. I can't remember what else we put in there.
Yeah.
Exactly.
but that
would-
would be kind
yeah.
of fun to.
Oh, that would be
see
an
people
excellent
know.
idea. See, and in the past, the city has not appreciated having, the plaques and
On
things
the
like that, for a number of reasons.
Yeah,
One, they become an obstacle for
Yeah.
maintenance and
Yeah.
then mowing and things
Yeah.
like that. And then all of a sudden, what's a city park, turns into almost like a cemetery setting in memory of
Yeah,
Grandpa
right,
Charlie
right.
and, Arbor
yeah,
Love,
yeah,
great uncle that passed away and things like that. And so, but this temporary,
temporary.
yeah,
Especially
'cause-
when the day is focused on
yeah,
trees.
there's one tree that was planted there in the park, kind of in memory of a person that actually kind of was responsible for the city receiving grants to create Lakeview Park, or not create it, but to improve it. And it was kind of a sort of a, go ahead and plant the tree, and it's, if it's there, it's there, but we're not going to give any recognition to it. But that would be good to have kind of
Oh,
a
yeah,
one-day
that little-
recognition.
right,
Yeah.
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 I like that.
Is that the one from, what is it, Lumber Day or whatever that is?
DeLay
Lumber Day.
Farms.
DeLay.
Yeah,
Right,
yeah,
and it was
yeah,
a-
because Ray DeLay, who passed away a number of
Right.
years ago, was very instrumental in some soil conservation organizations for the city to receive grants to develop the park. And so that tree was transplanted from his tree farm at Carywood. And we had permission from the city to do it, but then no recognition or formal memorial or plaque or anything like that, which, is certainly, I could understand and agree to.
Well, and if someone can do an ID of those trees, I have a laminating machine and I could do like tags. And then we could have the tag hanging on the limb of the tree.
Yeah, I was
So-
thinking of doing the same thing, actually.
Okay, great.
I can
What if-
probably look up the IDs. I can't remember what all we planted, but that should be in our tree inventory that's online.
Okay,
So
And then I have a laminator too.
okay, babe. So
So I
you,
might
and
try
you
to
have
do
a
something.
machine to type. it
Yeah,
out.
I'll
If
try
you're
to.
worried about the trees, and the tags getting destroyed, why not print them or handwrite them on the paper that turns into seeds, like little.
Oh, we're not worried about temporary
Oh, okay.
tags. We were just saying the reason why there aren't those
okay.
permanent ID
Okay.
markers is for a variety of
Okay.
reasons. But for, yeah, that's why we're thinking just a temporary
Yeah,
Arbor
maybe
Day
after.
ID.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
We're not gonna get through all this.
Okay, here.
Okay. Okay, marching on here. Let's see, I think tree committee membership discussion, let's table that for now, because we really only have not 10 minutes left.
Well, also that's going to be covered in the planning where we're going to have recommendations made.
Okay, and I was thinking maybe
So
this,
table it at the
our
time.
discussion about our process on tree removals, applications and so forth, maybe we can put that off till next meeting.
Yes.
It's something we need to get to, but I would like to get an update on our forestry plan and see where things are at here now.
Sure, and I actually want to turn it over to Jennifer because you guys had asked before she walked in about the city council, and I wasn't here when you spoke about that last time about why they should attend city council, and I just wasn't sure what your response was.
I had just mentioned going to city council with an update on the plans for Arbor Day. And it sounds like that's what you're planning on.
Perfect.
Well, you said for our
Library display.
library display that we should be there and explain to them, and then it would be more
Right.
coverage.
The activities, all the education activities that you're doing. So any celebration, the display at the library, I mean, anything that you're doing relative to Arbor Day, just giving them an
So
update.
just give a quick update. Okay, so
And it sounds like you're planning that for April 20th.
well, for April, but they're doing their library display on March 9th. And so that would mean someone would need to go to the city council at the next council.
But you're not saying we have to have a special presentation to the city council just on a library display.
Not necessarily on the library display, but it's a good way to get public information about it being there.
We can still mention that this is what had been done, you know, in March
And just
and April
make
at
one
the
formal
Arbor Day presentation.
Yes,
I
it
think
can be a
if
single
I'm
presentation.
hearing
Yeah.
you correctly, Jennifer, I'm not positive I am, but correct me if I'm not. At city council, a lot of times there's regular updates. And so because you're commission, right?
You're a committee of the
Committee,
council.
you have kind of you can always come and tell information. If we want to put you on the agenda, it's like just a regular informative slot. So if you wanted to use that as a forum to get the message out, you could. So just if you do, I just need to know a full week in advance to put you on the agenda and make sure that you have a slot. And then if there's anything that you wanted in the council in the packet to go to the city council members, then you would want to give that to me. So if there's ever a flyer or anything like that. So,
But is there also a way that someone, like that we wouldn't have to make a presentation, but that someone could read? And by the way, there will be a display at the library from the tree committee. Is that, no?
Yeah, we can do it under staff announcements.
You know, just so that at least it's out there, because we are going to be doing this for sure.
We can do it under the staff announcements. I think the nice thing with having someone from the committee, generally when we're doing those, is you're a committee sanctioned by the council, appointed by the council. So,
and it's more colorful having a human there, but just
right.
in case. Yes, thank you.
is it something that I could do on their behalf? Okay.
Thank you so much. It will be a fantastic display.
Yeah, I
By the
believe
tree
it. I'm excited.
So
to
if
come
you want me
see
to
it.
make that announcement, can you write me what you want me to say exactly? Because I don't have the exact date stuff that is going to be up.
Okay.
Just send me an email.
So when would you need that?
And I
by?
have
Yeah.
She would need it about just the day before, by the day before the council meeting. So our next council meeting will be next Wednesday, March 2nd. So if you want to announce it's going to be there in advance, Maeve could do it at next week's council meeting, or the following meeting will be March 16th.
Yeah, March 9th would be ideal, that earlier one, but
Yeah.
because
So
the
March
display is
2nd?
going up
Yeah,
on the
sure.
9th. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
And it won't be listed as a formal agenda item. It will be at
Just
the beginning of
announcement.
everyone. We have
Yeah.
council announcements,
Yeah.
staff
Yeah, it's
announcement.
To
So we'll just do it
utilize
under
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, just let me know what you.
And it's
anything
good
that-
because the media picks it up. Generally, they're sitting on the meetings.
Okay.
So their stories driven for Thursday, the reader's on every
Yeah.
Wednesday, and so is the Bee. So
Yeah.
then that drives their articles the next day.
Right.
That's great.
Okay. So,
Just a second.
yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
Gail, did you want me to do that?
Oh,
Yeah.
yes.
That's what
I'll send you something.
have to deal with this all
Okay,
day
and
long.
then
We don't hear it down
Oh,
in the
that's good,
offices
okay.
for the most part, but yeah.
Yeah.
And usually we have it not occurring during the time of meetings, so
It's not too bad.
Anyway,
the police department very much needs a remodel.
okay. But what about
oh,
the
plan.
community forestry plan that Jim thought?
I'm gonna have Jennifer speak to
Do you
that.
want to give us an update on that?
Well, Jim was out last week and met with us. He is reviewing the survey again to make sure we've captured everything that he wants. Our goal is to get feedback from him this week and release it next weekend, and continue that through about 3 weeks in March. Usually most of our results on the surveys come in the first couple of weeks. He's also he's coming back out the third week of March, fourth week. I know it's coming back late March.
Yeah, just have late March. Oh, April 6th.
April 6th.
He's gonna be on the council for April 6th.
So he's going to kick off a
Oh.
presentation, and we talked about doing that, and April being appropriate, given that it's Arbor Day. And so,
that'll
you know,
be
and
good.
thinking of coordinating presentations, that's probably a good meeting to do that.
Yeah.
So the thinking was for April 6th, we would have initial preliminary results from the survey. So we would have public input, and he will be doing a presentation to council to really formally kick off beyond that initial workshop with you, beyond the survey, then the full process with the update to our master plan. And this is similar to how we've done all of our other master plan projects, is the consultants typically come in at the front end with a presentation to council on what all this is going to constitute over what months. So if any of you are available to attend that meeting, that would be great, but we're going to be on full-on kickoff. He is
And that would be
also,
the Arbor Day conversation as well. So
Yeah.
yeah, the more of you that could attend for that one, that would be great to share.
and we can
more
get it at
support.
this at the front end of the meeting. So you're not having to sit through 45 minutes of meeting before we get to your topic. And then on that April 6th, he's going to be coming out earlier in the afternoon and meeting with our parks maintenance staff, as well as some of our street crews, to talk about trees in the right of way and some of the challenges and perspectives with staff. Because, you know, one of the issues we particularly have with trees in the right of way is sightline issues. And I know the committee's talked about that a lot. So those kinds of things will go to informing that master planning effort. He is also going to be coming in and looking at and is getting us a proposal to do specifically kind of a more detailed inventory on trees in an area of town, looking for both areas where there are opportunities for planting and things. And all of this will be integrated into our GIS mapping. So
Looking at density and
Yep. So
Yeah, we
not
talked about
only
that too.
here in
Big
town,
picture.
but then we're also looking at connecting him in with our forester, Mike Wolcott, and Greg Lanning, who's our utility director, talking about our our kind of outside urban interface forests up in the watershed. So Mike Wolcott's he's our forester for that area. And so he looks at timber harvests and things, but particularly as we're seeing growth of recreation up in the watershed, both now and anticipated growth of that, looking at really trees and safety issues and things relative to where we have recreation. So there is both a timber management, but there is a forestry perspective with this too. So we're going to have that meeting going into the council meeting also. And really trying to look at interfacing. The goal is really to look at interfacing our canopy and our tree management from the watershed really all the way down to the lake and to Sand Creek, because it's all about you know, it's all about stormwater management. It's all about water quality, really coming down from the mountain down to the lake into Sand Creek. So really trying to look at this holistically. We've typically looked at, particularly through this committee and with our current policies and procedures, we've looked at our urban forest here in town, but not linked that with the watershed. And as we're looking at growth, we're looking at you know, potential future growth of the city, really looking at holistically, how are we handling our forestry management from there, from the watershed down, I think is the holistic view we're going to be taking with Jim.
It's very encouraging to hear that.
Yeah, that sounds great. What time are the council meetings?
5:30.
5:30, okay.
Yep.
Well, I think we got to wrap things up here. Thank you, Jennifer.
Yeah, thank you.
For that update. Any other urgent things we need to talk about before we head out?
Just 30 seconds if I can. You know, that tree removal request, and today was a great day. I visited that area before coming here, and with that strong north wind, you know, you really see. But yeah, as was pointed out in Garth's report, yeah, that's an excellent tree. That's a specimen tree, and you know, and I totally concur. Not that I would disagree with his assessment of it, but then the way I understand it is that, you know, had this process, had the permit not been, or the request not been withdrawn, then we would give a recommendation that would go before city council. And this would actually have been an interesting one, you know, to kind of pursue. I'm glad the landowner, you know, saw this and totally agreed with it. When you look at other trees in that neighborhood, there are a lot of trees with problems that I would be worried to being in some of those houses on a day like today with the wind. But yeah, this one would have been a good test case, because I could only, you know, perhaps if we would have agreed with Garth's assessment and recommend that the tree not be removed, then had that been presented to city council, then they would of course have to make the decision on it. Wow. And I think here we would have every reason to make the decision that it not be removed. And so, to me, it shows that the systems work. Yeah. And by having a certified tree risk assessor, then, you know, it is coming from a, you know, a certified source, and one that I think everyone could acknowledge.
And to have a homeowner respect the assessment that was done. It's also very
and it didn't cost him anything, because otherwise he would have had to pay for someone to comment. Give him that.
Anyway, we gotta get out of here before this next meeting on our heels. But thank you all very much.
Yeah,
thank you.
I would like to adjourn the meeting at 9:57.
Thanks, Bob.
Thank you all for coming.
Yeah.
Maeve, thank you so much for all this.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Get caught up here. So.
Yeah, you're doing great.
Woohoo. We'll get this figured out.
Bill, I talked to Carl yesterday about the tree he had Best Way lined up as their tree removal company. I asked him if